What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Marauders issue number 9. What we have seen so far is Captain Kitty Pryde and the Marauders vowing to save Threshold, what some would consider the very first of mutantkind. The problem is, they are going against the likes of Sublime and Archaea, the mutant bacteria that takes over. It uses its host for its ever-ending battle against one another. We learned that the Thresholders, they are responsible for its very creation, doing this in an effort to take down the Unbreathing, the nation that lives underneath the water. This sees Thresholders as more of a violation against them because oxygen is toxic to them. They want to take over everything and put everything back into the water, cover everything in sea. And while the mutant bacteria was supposed to take them out, it has had the opposite effect. It is killing everything and everyone in its path. And you're gonna want to stay all the way through to the end because there is a reveal in this that I really did anticipate. I suspected that it might be this person, and I am so glad to see this individual back into the fight. Now, be sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so we are picking up at our 2 billion years ago mark. We are at the mid-water zone, and we have Commander Nightfont. They are getting word that the germs have spread to Century Town 87. You see, the Unbreathing, now that this mutant bacteria has been released, they wait for the bacteria to make its way through whatever settlement is nearby. Once they have become a weakened state, once the mutant bacteria has taken out a good amount of them, that is when the Unbreathing make their attack. Because every site that Sublime and Archaea attack, they weaken it, leaving its people vulnerable. This is their chance to reclaim the surface, to reclaim everything he says that was stolen from them. That is what takes us to Century Town 87. Fang has been taken over by Sublime, and Sublime, indulging itself in all the memories that Fang has, learns the truth of where they come from. But Sublime doesn't really care. While it is teeming with information, the truth is Sublime has one goal, and that is to kill Archaea. That their battle will rage for an eternity if that is what it takes. That obliteration is the only way out. At this point, they have recognized there is no saving Fang. That is when Somnus, he grabs hold of him, taking him into the dreamscape. He finds himself face to face with Sublime. With a swoosh of his hand, Sublime is wiped away from him, coming in and giving him a hug. He is letting him know that he is sorry, that Sublime got a hold of him, got into his body, that there is no saving him right now. Somnus simply didn't want him to feel what they are about to do, because the Marauders team, they have to vaporize him. If everybody falls this day, there is no coming back. But if they can get home, they can resurrect him. At this point, they're recognizing that they made a very dumb mistake, that they should have never come here. They came ill-prepared, not knowing what they were going to stand against. They have only been here for a couple of minutes. They find themselves already on the defensive, with Bishop letting it be known that they need to find an exit, and they need to do it now. With Pryde letting it be known to be careful using telepathy, that it may not be secure. That is when the Unbreathing arrive, what they call an eruption team. That is where we see Crave being the first one hit. Almost instantaneously, we see him die, dead by what they call a choke staff. It causes instant deoxygenation, taking all the oxygen out of the body in a split second. With Archaea hacking their telepathy, Sublime and the Unbreathing all over them, they have to find a way out. This is where Aurora goes to flip the table, essentially blowing up the entire street. She had agitated the molecules. With this giant explosion, this gives them the opportunity to run. That is where we see a mass is grabbed hold. Someone grabs his foot, unwilling to stop, unwilling to go back for it. hologram, saying that he knew the risk that they all have to leave, that there was a chance he could still be rescued. Amidst this entire fight, we also see that Kitty Pryde is somewhere missing, but that is what takes us 2 hours inland, currently using a hologram to hide them from any outside influence. Bishop saying that they barely survived the landing. How do they intend to fight against this? How do they intend to save Threshold when they can't even save themselves? With Crave being dead, a mass now missing, and Kitty Pryde also not among them, missing without a psychic trace, at least if Cassandra can be believed. But Psylocke is unable to track the captain either. They are losing people very fast. This is where we see Grove. This is the leader of Threshold. This is Helix home. This is life's last holdout. This is when they go to show the Marauders what is left standing. As they make their way through here, that is where they see the puzzle box. The one from Kitty Pryde, but this one is much younger. And while it is younger, it is still many millions of years old. A kid in comparison to what Frost had found back on Krakoa. The Thresholders letting them know that this was what they call the seed. It was discovered deep within their birthing seed. They are saying from this came all Thresholders, human and mutant alike. And while the seed may be very precious, it's not going to help them win back Threshold. They have a weapon that might. They call it the Daymite. Weaponized light to counter the Unbreathing's dark force. They believe that this could neutralize or possibly destroy the night guns, the weapons used to deoxynize them. This is a weapon, but it's not a final weapon. Of course, many Thresholders, they're a little bit skeptical on using a weapon of this magnitude. After they had created Sublime and Archaea, after creating the bacteria that now is wiping them out, using an ultimate weapon of any kind, it puts them at pause. But they go on to let us know that Archaea has infected their birthing seed. Every 20 years, their last-born generation gathers in the seed to spawn the next. Each generation is raised by all those above it. Their whole society is their family unit. And so, unless the seed can be freed, Threshold's end is assured one way or another. With Tempo saying, for a little bit of clarification, that they all get together and they do a type of spawning, almost like fish. But the Thresholders let us know that it's more like the fish have copied them. While procreation happens once a generation, intimacy is still very much a much more common thing. Their insurgency had begun with those who could repel the bacteria. They held the sea, at least until Archaea infected a mutant with a special displacement gift. And so what they're saying is that Archaea is holding the children hostage. That is where Psylocke, she becomes irate. If anybody understands a child being held hostage, it is Psylocke. Her entire tone changes. She is ready to do whatever is necessary to take out the bacteria. Moments ago, she was a little bit in doubt, but now she seems fit for forever combat. With Bishop saying that he might have an idea, saying that Archaea and Sublime, they are microscopic, but they are alive. They are clouds of cells. Cells with a charge. Normally, he can't touch that type of energy, but they have one last boost fruit. The fruit will help him absorb the cellular energy in the water. Every bit of her in that area would die instantly. One fruit, one shot. With Kitty Pryde and a mass currently MIA, Fang and Crave are dead. Not knowing if this is going to be brave or stupid, they're not going to know anything until it happens. That is what takes us to the mid-water zone. We have a mass who is being held prisoner, but a mass appears to be talking to itself. What they are hinting at is that Kitty Pryde was absorbed into a mass. This is only more solidified when we see Commander Nightfont come into the room, quickly recognizing that a mass finds itself telepathically shielded. Nightfont is the defector. Once upon a time, he was of Threshold, but now he finds himself a commander with the Unbreathing, starting to understand exactly who Nightfont is. As he talks talks to a mass, he says that Threshold, they like to act like they're civilized, but they don't respect its enemies. They say that the unbreathing are primitive, but the culture, he says, is incredibly complex. The language alone encompasses senses that Thresholders could not even begin to understand. Long before they first crawled from the sea, he says that the Thresholders are the true trespassers. The oxygen wars aren't about turf. Their air literally poisons the unbreathing. That this is a fight for survival. He also goes to say that they have a final weapon. A weapon that will set fire to Earth's oxygen itself. Taking off his helmet, that is where it is revealed that this is none other than Strife, the evil clone of Cable. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like I said, I very much believe that that could have been Strife. The way he carries himself, the way his armor is built, it really just seemed like him. Once I got to that last page and I saw that it was him, it was just like boom. Like, I can't believe I actually called that one. But it makes sense. The way that he's going about things, the way that he is doing things. Now it's going to be very interesting to see how Strife got here, why he is here to begin with, and what is this going to do? How does this play a part into the future? How does this play a part into the never-ending war that is Strife and Cable? It's going to be very interesting to see this all play out, because while we thought we saw it all, Sublime, Archaea, Thresholders 2 billion years ago, and then bam, out of nowhere, the Defector, the traitor, the one that stands against Thresholders is none other than the evil clone Strife him freaking self. And I believe the last time that we had seen Strife, he was fighting against old and young Cable in the 12-issue series Cable. I don't think that we have seen him any other time, but if we have, let me know so I can go check that out. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with the Marauders, do me a favor, check out the link in the description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything going on with the X-Men Marauders. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon having 5 different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you can't do any of that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.